Kamen Rider Build.
Hey YouTube, Kamen Rider here, and it is build 44 time. That might be like, I might have done that wrong, but it's 44. I'm like fairly certain. So I just wanted to see how long I could go. I didn't even have to go that long. Wait for it. Wow, this episode is nonsense so far. If this is your first video you're ever watching from me, I apologize, but this is an actual legitimate review. Okay, episode 44, right? That's what we're talking about. So this was a pretty good episode, I thought. It wasn't really bad. There was some big developments, in a manner of speaking. Let's talk about the biggest thing in this episode. One of the biggest things in the series, frankly, which is Gentoku shirts. In a million years, when this series started, of all the times throughout this run that I've thought, what's going to happen next? What's the next twist around the corner? I would have never thought that Gentoku would become one of my favorite characters in the show because of the comedic relief they've added to him, which is his shirts. He had a shirt that said agreed. He had a shirt that said I agree with him, pointing the wrong way. And he's like, I did that on purpose. And then Sento calls him a moron. He had a yes or no shirt. It was just, and the fact that he seems to have settled on cosplayer from Grease 2 as his look. He's just so amusing. I absolutely enjoyed him, and him cooking in this episode. All the comedic beats pretty much worked for me. There was a little over-the-top stuff with Grease, but for Gentoku, yes, it worked. There was a storyline about him and Grease basically getting themselves captured to get a little extra dose of gas to up their hazard level so they could be useful, and then coming back into the fold. And that's when Gentoku's yes or no shirt came in. And then you had Grease doing his signature, like, Misora worship. And I've mentioned previously that Grease I'm just kind of very okay on. Like, I like his character, you know, I don't hate him, but I'm not like, oh, I'm really invested. But I like him. But the times I most enjoy his character is the Misora bits because it's amusing to me. This week was a little bit over the top, but still amusing. But mainly the reason I bring this up again is because I think I figured out this week the reason that that I like him the most when he's in that story is because it reminds me of him as Ochoya, because especially in the early days, Ochoya was like all about the girls. This is more extreme because it's like about one girl and not so much like a ladies' man vibe. It's like the opposite, but just like the actors acting of it. Allow myself to introduce myself, but yeah, so that stuff worked for me. Other than that, like when they were rescuing them, Build encountered his dad, and he's like, Dad? You're not my dad, you're Ivan. No, but like, and he like basically hinted at him like, hey, I'm gonna poke the hazard trigger, what's that about? I'm letting you go and I'm giving you really strong hints. And it sort of started to make you think, or the narrative wanted to make you think, oh, I bet we're gonna do a Build's dad isn't evil after all story. Thank God they didn't go for that. But basically, he gave him the hints he would need to disable evil by disabling his hazard trigger, and they destroyed him. And he even said, like, I'll be back. So even if he hadn't said anything, or anything about coming back, when he blowed it up, I know that's not the last we've seen of him. So, but for now, he's off the board for like a second. But then, you know, it was revealed that his dad's like, oh, that was my plan all along, mahaha, except he did this. He just did that. That's what Build's dad does. So please do not make his dad good. We've already watered down Sento's backstory. Please, let's just leave his dad evil. I'm tired of these stories where everybody is, oh no, he wasn't bad all along, or he wasn't as bad as you thought. Just please. Lots of times people talk about in other shows like, oh, you know, not killing off characters doesn't give stakes. That could be a whole other video where I could talk about that. But for me, sort of backpedaling or watering down or making it so that everyone was good, you know, kind of takes away the stakes or any drama to it. So let's just leave his dad evil. For now, I'm gonna guesstimate, theorize that his dad's gonna be like, for a hot minute, like, ah, ha, now I'm the villain. That's a weird laugh. But then Evolt's gonna come back and then finish the show out. Because I can't picture him not being the final big bad we face. Unless there's some twist where there's just some dude that's been behind the scenes the whole time and we flash back to every episode and see how he's connected to it. Who knows? You never know with these type of shows. But I don't think his dad's gonna be the big bad boss. I could be wrong. I could be proven wrong in 3 weeks. You could be watching this episode 2 years in the future and be like, you idiot, he was the big bad boss. How did you not know this? Like, I get comments on my X8 reviews all the time, like asking me stuff like, how could you think this? Or why did you think that? Like, I don't remember what I said in episode 13's review. Like, I don't even remember. Like, but that's past me's problem. But yeah, that's what I think's gonna happen. It could be possible that the death was faked and then they worked together, but I doubt it because the reason he wanted him to kill Evolt is so he could get the 3 lost bottles, but I don't know. That's what I think is going to happen, but I'm glad that for now it wasn't oh, he's giving you secret hints because he's good. It was, he's giving you secret hints because he's manipulative. Also, him being in another build suit is kind of nice. It gives us a chance to show off some of the forms we haven't seen in a while, like Hawk Gatling and stuff like that. Also, just a side note, because I feel like I should mention it, we did debut fully the Magma Knuckle, which is just kind of, I think it's a premium item, so I guess it's to sell a premium item. It just seemed kind of needless. Like, I wasn't like mad, like, oh, I quit Build and Tokusatsu because of this, but I also wasn't like, oh man, I gotta go pre-order that. It was just like, oh, okay, let's do this then. But yeah, it was kind of a weird episode, because I thought it was solid, it was enjoyable, there was some good action, there was some really good group posing, like, you know, they've all morphed and did explosions and lots of teamwork, and there was a really nice scene where Sento tried to sneak off and fight on his own, and it was that signature, oh, you can't do it by yourself, and then the funny scene with Gentoku in his shirt saying, like, I agree with him, and he was facing nobody, he's like, I did it on purpose, so all that stuff worked. There was some charming bits, like, it was enjoyable, and obviously it's kind of a big moment that whether it's temporary or not, Evolt's blowed up. It just was weird, because it felt kind of just, yeah, that was an episode. I enjoyed parts of it, but it wasn't like a lot of Build episodes where I'm like, oh man, can't wait to see what happens next, it was so good. It was just a 7, I would say. It feels weird that Lupin got a higher score this week, even though it was a more average episode, but I don't know. Something weird about this week's episode, but I'm still looking forward to more. I'm really interested to see how the series turns out and talking about it in my wrap-up, because it has been a little bit strange in this endgame here in terms of the pacing and the storyline. But yeah, anyway, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring the bell to get notifications for all my videos. Dawson Rider, signing out.